So hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about Cyclamen persicum and also about my plants for this little garden bed. So real quick overview of this little tiny bed. It's a little drainage point in the yard, so it's at one of the lowest points where all the water drains off to. There's a large rose here, a Mr. Lincoln. Over there we have a camellia, which I can't remember which variety, and that one I saved and it's slowly but surely recovering. So I probably won't get any flowers out of that guy for a couple years. Next to it back there is a vine called Pandoria Golden Showers. And that needs a trellis. And then there's nothing in front. There's a crenum right there that needs to get moved. There's an iris here, Iris tictorum, I believe, or Japanese roof iris. And then over here we have Bohemii cybordii, which is related to stinging nettles, but this one won't sting you. And apparently the flowers are really attracted to butterflies. I haven't seen that. And then there's all the fresh new growth, so now I could go and cut down those old stems. There's a couple daffodils here. I can't remember which variety it is. There's a hydrangea right there called Masja Red. It's a hydrangea macrophylla, and I'm really surprised it's made it, but I'm happy with it. And the plan is to have it as an understory shrub to the rose. Back there is a Ficus primula, which also needs a trellis to cover the wall. And that's pretty much it. There's also an oxalis here. Right there. But so far, no new growth on that guy yet. So hopefully later. So my plan is to keep this as a very and also this guy, which is a chorus organ. It's grown for its very nice golden yellow leaves, and it's about to flower. It's an aroid, so it has flowers like calla lilies but in miniature. You don't really grow it for that. It's mostly grown for the foliage, but pretty cool plant. There's also a couple hostas in here, which I have not seen any of them coming up yet. So fingers crossed on that too, that they made it. I think it's Hosta Christmas Tree is the variety name. It's a variegated one. So this place is pretty shaded. It's also pretty dry. It only gets water, a really deep soaking once a week, maybe twice a week in the summer. So a lot of these things need to tolerate dry shade, which is always a challenge for gardeners. So to talk about now that we got the introduction out of the way, let's talk about Cyclamen persicum. You guys have probably seen this guy sold a lot around Christmas time. So there's different species: Cyclamen corum and hydroflorum, or I don't remember what the other one is. There's two other species that are a lot more hardier than this. Cyclamen persicum is pretty cold tender. That's why you see it typically sold as a houseplant or as an annual. So Lowe's is selling this variety, which is Laser Synchro Scarlet Cyclamen. They usually get sold as annuals. They're actually perennials. They have a tuber underground, which we'll probably see when I try dividing this guy up. Again, Cyclamen persicum is pretty tender to cold, but I think in this sheltered area it might actually make it. But we're going to have to wait and see. It's a pretty cool plant. They do flower from fall through spring, early summer, depending on the species. I think most of the persicums flower fall through spring, depending on the variety. The genus is found all over the Mediterranean. It could grow in full sun to woodland conditions. Persicum, I think, is one of those species that grows at the edge of woodlands, but on really rocky soil. So it prefers fast drainage. And over here, I don't think that's going to be a problem because the soil's so dry. So let's get to it. So the plan with this is to see if I could divide this up and actually plant little clumps here and there. And I want the red one over here, and if I could find a white variety, the white one would go back there, because white will stick up more in the darker shade than red would. The cool thing about Cyclamen is that it's related to primroses. They are typically self-fertile, so that means they fertilize themselves. So a lot of the times, any seed that they produce will come true to type, which means it's going to be like the parent. The seed of it is pretty interesting because the different species have different shaped seed pods, but they all have this tendency to either elongate or to curl back down towards the ground, where ants will then go to the seeds and take them away because the seed has a very sticky algae coating that attracts the ants and allows it to be dispersed that way. Pretty interesting stuff. So there's the root, and in here, somewhere in here, will be a corm. And let's see. Trying to feel in here. I don't feel a corm. So I'm not gonna. I was hoping I was going to be able to divide this, but now that I'm not feeling nor seeing a large corm, I don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to plant it as a clump, and we're just going to have two, which is fine. But over time, hopefully it forms a corm, and they spread out that way. Most of the time, these cyclamens won't form cormlets, like baby corms on the side. The original corm would just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and you could cut it into sections if you want to divide it. But I'm hoping this guy spreads via seed, and if it doesn't, then I'll just get some more or get a different variety. What is this? I don't know what that is. The soil here is very sandy. It needs some more organic material, and that's why I left a bunch of these leaves here so they could break down and increase that layer of organic material. Okay, so I plant it like that. Backfill. And boom, we got a cyclamen. Now, one of the things to keep in mind with these guys is that they will go summer dormant. So probably in a month, maybe 2 months from now, so late May, it will look like it's dying. All the leaves are falling down. Don't yank it up. It's just going to sleep. It will reemerge come the fall. So don't worry about that. So let's get to the second one. And the second one, I think I'm going to plant more up front. So like right here. Now, if I did find the corm and I was able to divide it, I will probably plant the corm closer to the surface because these guys like to actually rest 1 to 2 inches below the surface of the soil. And actually, over time, they will push themselves up to the surface. So I will probably just plant it at the surface, just to not deal with that. And then look, check it out. There we go. You can see the new young flower buds emerging. That's pretty cool. Okay. So we're going like that. Backfill. And boom. So there it goes. 2 cyclamen cyclamen persicums planted. First time growing cyclamens ever, to be honest. Let's see if these guys make it in this sheltered spot. And yeah, thank you guys for watching.